Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
This town needs an enema.
Recreating the events. What you're about to see is not a news broadcast.
Today, across the United States, citizens are being put on notice. Consumer products of every size, shape, and imaginable form are being marked by a mandated and ever-increasing government machine. Nutritional information and disclaimers are becoming so commonplace they're not even being read. What is causing this cautionary contrivance, and why? Since the late 1800s, mankind has been under investigation. Suspects in the senseless rape and murder of planet Earth, millions of human beings carry out their lives completely unaware of the growing indictment against their children. Without representation, tried in secret, and convicted of no crimes, our children have been sentenced to schools that don't teach, food that doesn't feed, and wise elders that don't even know what they actually know. What could be the motive of this vicious attack on a truly innocent generation? We interrupt your regularly scheduled lives to bring you this important bulletin. My name is John Carbon, and this is the good news. Welcome to the Good News Network. I'm John Carbon, your leader in the revolution against robotic thought. First, our top story. Marvels of modern science make their way into our lives through an infinitely varied spectrum of tools, toys, and technological devices, designed to make our lives easier, and often they do. But are these more than just consumer goods? When we examine this digital universe, what do we see? And what are we missing? For more on this developing story, we go live to Dr. Carbon. Doctor.
Good afternoon, John. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Doctor. Your time is always appreciated, and as usual, you have some groundbreaking analysis and insight for us.
Yes, John. As you are aware, this is the digital age, the age of technology, the age of information. Everywhere you look, there's a cell phone, a computer, or some other digital device processing ones and zeros indiscriminately at blinding speeds. With little effort, one could see that we ourselves have cooling systems, sensors, a central processor, and so on. In Stephen Hawking's new book, he took a stance that failed to surprise anyone familiar with his work and did not actually inform, advance, or enlighten anyone. What it did was strengthen the resolve of an agenda and further the abandonment of a generation. What Mr. Hawking tells us is we are merely computers. And as there is no final resting place for old desktops, there's no heaven, there's no afterlife, and there's no need for a God for this universe to exist. That this road of life we travel down is, in effect, not a through street. Yet we continue driving. Clearly, Mr. Hawking has missed the mark. You see, we are hardware. That much is obvious. And we do have software, but there's an important part of this equation that's being overlooked, John.
Would you say that this is intentional?
It's hard to say, really. I'm not a mind reader, but it is hard to deny when the missing third is so obvious.
But Doctor, it would seem that any attempt to mislead would be pointless, and with so many minds at work today, any fallacy would be widely disputed.
Yes, John, but it does play into a greater initiative. It is fair to say that perhaps the power has corrupted him.
So what you're saying, Doctor, is Stephen Hawking should stick to quantum physics.
Precisely, John.
All right, well, you heard it here, folks. Stay tuned for further reports on this fascinating find. For now, let's go to John Carbon for a little update on what the weather's like out there. John?
Thank you, John. Things are heating up across the globe. Would you get out of here? Where I am now, it's actually quite nice, but that's if I'm living in the moment and don't particularly care what's happening to 6 billion of my brothers and sisters.
Sounds pretty intense, John. Care to fill us in?
Well, John, since you ask, we're being hijacked.
Hijacked? I don't follow.
We're told that we live in a highly advanced age and that science has given us a greater understanding of our world.
And somehow you disagree with this?
On the contrary, John, I think it's great. Sadly, what's even greater is what we accept, given what we already know. When kings of knowledge declare something, we accept it without standing up and asking why. We trust science. We depend on it. And it knows this. Science has become a source of prestige and of power, and that power is corrupting. We're too involved in our own lives to really take the time to dissect what we are told, and the truth is, we were all trained and equipped to win this war in the first grade.
War? With who?
Not who. What?
And what would what be?
Materialism.
How so?
Well, in simple terms, it's almost as though the public isn't advanced enough for quantum physics, so our worldview is being remade, repackaged, and remarketed to us in a way that seeks to halt the development of the next generation and drag us back to an understanding of Newtonian physics, where we see the world as animals do, and not with the advanced intellectual sight we were given for a reason.
That was simple terms?
Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about a science book.
Robotic thought, an all-encompassing central control, and laser-like precision.
When you turn your work over to machines that do not reason, cannot feel, and will not care, what do you do when you can't turn them off? Have we so easily forgotten what the system is capable of? Are we, through government, building the perfect beast? We're not preparing for a war with the machines. We're in the middle of it.
I am not going to sit on my ass. As the events that affect me unfold to determine the course of my life, I'm going to take a stand. I'm going to defend it. Right or wrong, I'm going to defend it.
These kings of knowledge are powerless to an informed and enlightened public. You're being made serfs by those who ought to serve you. Like many before me, I too have a dream. I dream of a place where my children are safe, where every child is loved and no one is worthless. This is my dream, a dream from which I awake to a reality that the deception must end.
My name is John Carbon, and I do not come in peace. 100 days from the posting of this video, I will begin to release short but comprehensive videos simplifying and clarifying these settled debates. Your reign is over. In 100 days, the information will no longer be passed through your filter before it reaches the people. They will no longer be held captive by your intellectual boxes. The people deserve the truth. Al Gore, Stephen Hawking, Barack Obama, seemingly convinced of their accuracy. But could they be wrong? Though we disagree, we are brothers. This is not an attack, it is an appeal. I seek not to say that you mislead, but that you have been misled. You declare you have the answer. I submit that you do not. You have 100 days. You make the choice. Continue the deception, or come clean. All I'm really asking is that you admit the possibility exists that you may be wrong. When all is said and done, this may bring you peace. My fear is that peace was never the goal. Regardless, You have 100 days, and then I start talking.